wonder. It makes you wonder, why does his staff want him to hide away? One must question, are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable to lead America? Is that what's going on?
Hiding? Ain't nobody hiding but you. Come on, Kamala. Ain't nobody hiding. The only person hiding is you and Tim Walz. You guys won't even do a sit down with Fox News. You won't. All you're doing is going on these soft ass podcasts, or you're going on the soft media who's throwing you meatball questions. So what's the deal? How could you sit there and call out Trump from hiding? He's not hiding. He's been doing interviews. He's been doing sit downs. He's been doing it on both sides. J.D. Vance as well. He's been doing both sides as well. Ain't nobody hiding, Kamala, but you. So you need to get your ass out there, because right now you behind in the polls. You need to get out there and do what you can. I don't think it's going to happen. You have no policy to run on. Nobody likes you. Everybody thinks you're fake ass. I don't know what else to tell you. You're seeing it. Your polls are dropping. Trump's running away with it. I don't know how else we can tell you that. I mean, you have no policies right now. You're talking about the policy on, tax cuts and tax breaks on, buying new homes and new businesses. That's not going to help somebody right now. They need help right now because of your policies on this economy. They need help right now. So ain't nobody hiding. You're hiding because you can't come forth and tell the truth. You can't get out in front of the people and let them know that you're a fake, that you're a fraud. Plain and simple. There's no other way to explain it. I mean, you might be doing good right now with the polls with the women, but right now he's leading the polls with men. He's leading the polls with black men. I mean, especially after this past weekend when you had, Obama completely disrespecting black men out there. What the hell is that all about? You think that's going to help Kamala? It didn't this weekend. And you're fixing to see why here shortly. So I don't know how you can sit there and say that they're hiding from you. Ain't nobody hiding from you, Kamala. There's no reason to hide from you. ABC polls put out that you are leading with women, and Trump leads pretty much everywhere else. Check this clip out.
I mean, the reality is that for the first time in 32 years in this poll, it shows that Republicans are beating Democrats straight up. When you ask people a generic ballot in 32 years, it shows that Donald Trump's doing better with black voters, Hispanic voters, off the charts. But what the most important thing is, what happened last week is that what was working with female voters with Kamala Harris was that there was some feeling of joy in the air. Well, that joy is gone. She had a terrible week. She picked a pointless fight with Ron DeSantis. She was losing in the Sun Belt, and she tried to recover by going on The View, which a lot of women watch. She went on The View. You talked about it earlier, and she wanted to clarify the two most important issues that are facing these two candidates: the economy and immigration. And she bombed like Rory at the U.S. Open, and she went out there and said there was nothing she would do that would be different than Joe Biden. And she created a campaign commercial for Donald Trump. And so she's trying to recover. There is no joy in the air, and everybody knows it. And it's obvious that there is a leak in the balloon here in the Kamala Harris campaign.
One thing is right. You did. You went on The View and you bombed on the two most important topics of this election: immigration and economy. You bombed both of them. And when you were asked, would you change anything going into this election from what you've been under for what you've done under Biden, and you said you would not change a thing. And yet here we are. People are struggling. People are fighting for survival. People are literally fighting survival in communities that are being overrun and overtaken with illegal immigrants. And you go on The View, a soft-ass question, and you still couldn't get it right. I can't believe you cannot show the acknowledgement that our economy is in the tank and that immigration is rampant all under your policies. So I don't understand it. I don't get it. That's why it's shown in the polls. I mean, maybe the women out there still got the bleeding heart for you. And everybody thinks, oh, Kamala, you know, she's such a good person. She's a great person. Well, you may be a great person, Kamala, but your ass ain't the next commander in chief. That's all I got to say about that. You cannot stand up and face our news media. How we expect for you to go out there and face other world leaders. You're going to be a joke. You're going to be a laughing stock. How could somebody vote for that? You want somebody that's going to show power, that's going to show strength, that's going to have balls that clank in the night. And right now, Trump's got that. He had it 4 years ago. Nobody messed with us. Because Trump told him, you mess with America, I will bomb you back to the Stone Age. Everybody left us alone. Everybody was prosperous. Everybody had a job. Everybody was making good money. Everybody had money in their pockets. But for some reason right now, you can't identify with that. And the policies that you have right now is not going to help anybody. It's going to hurt people. And then you go on and pick a fight with Ron DeSantis over this, you know, disaster relief. Good Lord. Good Lord. I mean, Ron DeSantis go on national TV and say, that woman has never called me. Kamala, you just had a bad week, a bad campaign week. And then you go on that podcast, Call Me Your Daddy or Call Her Daddy or Call Me Daddy. Wow. That's the best you can do? Unreal. And then the CNN reports, because of all this going on, the voter identity, the voter party ID, it's showing a big swing for the Republicans. Big swing. Look at this.
All right, so party ID nationally. You go to October, November of 2016, Democrats had a 3-point advantage. You go 4 years ago, Democrats had a 6-point advantage. Look at where we are today, Manu. Republicans with a 1-point advantage. A very different picture, very much mirroring what we see in the party registration numbers in those key battleground states, and Pennsylvania in particular.
It actually just shows you, too, why Harris is doing what she's trying to do. She's trying to moderate a little bit on these issues, trying to reach those very voters, because the party registration is changing and the demographics of the voters are changing. And those are the people she needs to attract.
Absolutely. And you know, the GOP leads by a point in party identification right now. The average when the Republican Party loses is the Democrats ahead by 8. When the Republican Party wins, the average party ID advantage for Democrats is 3. Republicans right now, Manu, are doing even better than the average when they win. If there's one little nugget that I think Republicans are really hopeful for, it's this party ID and this party registration data. It really points in a good direction for them and for Donald Trump.
Wow.
Well, that's a positive for the Trump campaign. Voter ID turnout and registration are showing up in droves for the Republican Party. It's been a while since it's been that way for the Republicans. And it just shows right now that there are a lot of people out there that believe in Trump's policies, that believe what he did 4 years ago for our country. And the American people are just getting fed up and tired with the current situation. Nobody has money. Nobody can afford anything. Inflation's through the roof, and especially with the immigration. You can even tell with the general election polls. I mean, but there's been movement on both sides, you know, positive and negative, but more positive for the Trump campaign when it comes to the updated NBC polls that they have out on the general election, and it's going to surprise you. Look.
I mean, the top line is the 5-point advantage that Kamala Harris had in our last poll is gone. What's behind that shift?
Yeah, exactly, Savannah. I mean, just look at them side by side and you can see it. Remember that poll we took a month ago that you see here? It was just after that first Trump-Harris debate. Since then, we've had the VP debate. There have been some campaign activities, some interviews, some things that have changed in that time. I think this might be the biggest for Harris. We just asked the basic image perception people have. Is it positive or negative of these candidates? The Trump number's always been somewhere in this territory. In fact, this is a little bit high for him, believe it or not, 43% positive. But look at Harris, 43 positive, 49 negative. The significance, we polled this a month ago. She was 48% positive and 45 negative. She was above water, as they say. That's completely reversed. It now looks very similar to Trump's. That's a pretty big shift when you're talking about a race this close. And then there's the weight of the fact she's the VP in an unpopular administration. We asked about President Biden's policies. Are they helping or hurting your family? Just a quarter of voters said they're helping. Nearly half said they're hurting. And then here's the interesting twist. We also asked folks, think back to when Donald Trump was president. Did his policies help or hurt your family? And look at the difference. 44% helping, 31 hurting. Trump's, the retrospective, you would say, opinion of Trump's presidency among voters, arguably higher now than when he was president.
I think most of America is finally waking up. I mean, literally the past month, I think America is finally waking up to what's going on. I mean, with the impact on your family, it was showing that Joe Biden, helping your family right now in this current situation is 25% and hurting 45%. That is a big difference. And then you got Trump coming in, with the 44% helping and 31% hurting. I just don't see how Trump, we know what he did 4 years ago. Everybody was happy 4 years ago. Everybody had money. Everybody had homes. Everybody had jobs. The economy was great. Inflation was way down. Now they're just worried about Trump making his mean tweets again. I mean, the man's going to do what that's what you would want. You would want a man that's going to tell you how it is. If it hurts your feelings, then, oh, well, take your ball and go home. But to sit here and call this man a threat to democracy, you got to be outside your mind. He's going to do nothing but help your family. That's what he's doing. He don't have to run for office. I mean, he's a billionaire. He can go sit on the beach somewhere, sipping Mai Tais and chilling out like Joe Biden is. I mean, who's running our country right now? It sure as hell ain't Joe Biden. It ain't Kamala Harris. We all speculate. We all have some kind of idea who's running it, but it's neither one of them, and it's definitely not Trump. So how could you say Trump can't help your family? But I tell you what, the Democratic Party, man, they're in straight panic mode. And now you got the second gentleman sitting down with MSDNC Morning Joe talking about what would happen if Donald Trump really was elected. The fear is sitting in right now. And Morning Joe is asking Doug, well, the stakes are high. You don't know what Trump's going to do. Trump may lock your wife up. Guess what? Trump didn't even lock Hillary up. How could you sit there and be putting out that information, asking that type of question? He didn't even lock Hillary up for what she did. If anything, he is the most fair person you could ask for in a commander-in-chief. But yet, Morning Joe still asked Doug the same question and how his family feels and how they're going to move forward with it. And, talking about, fighting for their Constitution in the next 20 plus days. Check it out.
You talk about the stakes being so high. I don't know if you know this or not, but your wife and I were on the cover of New York Times Magazine this week, along with about 28 other people. And the question was whether Donald Trump would be able to jail the people he said he was going to jail. So does she think about that? Do you think about that? That if Donald Trump wins, if he's good on his word, he could arrest her and jail critics?
We don't think about that for ourselves. We think about it for every single other person in this country. You know, she put herself out there, and that comes with the territory. And so we're willing to take anything that's thrown at us for our country. We love our country. We're patriots. We care about the future of this country, like I know you do. And so this is why we are going to fight like hell for these next 20-something days for our rule of law, for our Constitution, for our democratic ideals, not someone who's going to talk about, weaponizing the Department of Justice to jail perceived enemies and to go against a free and fair media. This is all the stuff that people need to understand and not get sucked in by this fog, this Trump fog that's out there of disinformation, misinformation, this perception that he was somehow good on the economy when he was president. He was not. And all these things he's trying to, dupe the American people on. When you have someone like Kamala Harris, a prosecutor, somebody who was an attorney general, somebody who's a United States senator, vice president, been in the Oval Office, helping make decisions in the Situation Room, doesn't have to train to be a world leader, already is a world leader and has the character that people can look up to. And she tells the truth. So for me and for so many others, this is why we're all supporting Kamala Harris.
I got news for you. Trump's not going to jail her. It's just not going to happen. He is a firm believer. I mean, he's being criticized and picked on and attacked. Trump is just not going to do that. He is not going to go after her as far as putting her in jail, unlike what they did to him. Weaponize the judicial system and come after him they came after them with everything they had. They tried to get that man broke. They tried to sue him. They tried to put him in jail. And now his life has been attempted upon twice already. I mean, if anybody had a reason to go after Kamala, he would definitely have the reason, but I don't think that's him. That's just not who he is. I mean, I don't know him personally, but you could tell that's just not the type of person that he is. So I just want to thank everybody for watching the show, watching our channel. I appreciate it. Please go and like and subscribe. Hit that button down there. And that way we can still continue to provide some content for you guys. We enjoy doing it. We love doing it. And also leave some questions in the comment section, and we'll do our best to hit you up. That's going to do it for us tonight. Take care, and America, till next time.